top of the hour, the government released data showing Philippine headline inflation easing further to 1.8%. National statistician Dennis Mapa announces the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, falling to 1.8% in March, coming all the way from 2.1% in February, led by the decline in prices in meat, followed by fish and vegetables. Now, the result is settled within the Bangko Central's month-ahead inflation forecast of 1.7% and 2.5%. So the March print is also lower than the 2% medium estimate of the Business World poll that we conducted. So this would also be the lowest monthly imprint after a month. With us now for more is Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go. So good to see you again, Secretary Go. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Kathy.
All right, so what do you make of the inflation print? 1.8%, near the bottom end of the Bangko Central's range, and definitely much slower than the Business World poll.
Well, we're very happy with it. The government is very focused on controlling inflation because this improves accessibility and affordability of basic goods and commodities for our countrymen. And controlling inflation puts more purchasing power in the hands of the consumers, which is very good for business and the economy.
And foreign investments, I would presume, because inflation or the lack thereof is one of the reasons you're citing to potential foreign investors to come to the Philippines and do business.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Kathy. We always talk about our good GDP growth numbers, 5.6% last year. And we also talk about the government's efforts, successful efforts in controlling inflation. Among others, of course, we also talk about the strengths of the Philippines, such as the 120 million Filipinos. The demographic dividend of the Philippines is paying off very well right now. And the Philippines also just recently got off the gray list of the Financial Action Task Force. So a lot of good news coming out of the Philippines.
Yeah, especially so after the April 2 tariff announcement from the U.S. Have there been a pickup in inquiries from potential foreign investors since yesterday?
Yes, I've heard anecdotally from the various investment promotion agencies that they've been getting a lot of calls. We took a basket of 12 countries, and among those 12 countries, and we ranked it from highest to lowest in terms of these new tariffs. And the Philippines comes out number 11 out of 12. So like we're at the bottom, right? So I think it's really an opportunity for the Philippines to attract investments from all these countries that have been imposed with higher tariffs. We took a look at all our Southeast Asian neighbors, except for Singapore. We have an opportunity to capitalize on this.
All right, so how are we capitalizing on this? Given that more foreign investors, I mean, could they make up for the losses that our exports sustain because of the 17% tariffs?
For one, we're in early days. We're going to be meeting with the Board of Investments as well as the Exporters Confederations and discuss with them what steps we can take to address these possible negative effects of these new tariffs. But the Philippines has been, the Marcos Jr. administration has been very focused on attracting investments. So we have put in place a lot of the laws, executive orders to ease doing business in the Philippines and to reduce cost of doing business in the Philippines. We have, for example, the Create More law that we recently passed that is putting back the predictability of doing business in the Philippines. It gives investors anywhere from 14 years to 40 years of either income tax holidays or reduced income taxes. And we've also clarified a lot of the fiscal incentives that they're entitled to if they invest in the Philippines. So we're very confident that we've put in the foundations to attract these investments.
But what do you tell participants, Secretary Go, when they come to you and say that there is a travel advisory in your country or that the infrastructure isn't as seamless, supply gaps a challenge, and there's changing rules in the middle of the game?
Well, the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has recognized all these gaps and has been working on them piece by piece. I mentioned the Create More law. We also have the green lanes for strategic investments. We also have the public-private partnership law, all of which were passed during the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. And I'd also like to mention, since you singled out infrastructure, we're now working on a right-of-way law with Congress, which hopes to address these kinds of issues.
And I understand that you've got an upcoming international roadshow from next week, and they include Korea, Japan, Taiwan, the EU, Middle East, and China. And the US is also among the destinations. So what's planned there?
Yes, we kicked off the Create More Roadshow with a domestic event. We started with the Philippines because historically the domestic businesses comprise the largest part of investments in the Philippines. Last year, we had a total registered investment amount of 1.9 trillion pesos. About 70% of this came from domestic businesses. But of course, what we're trying to do here is to attract foreign direct investments. So we're doing a roadshow in all those countries that you mentioned earlier to really announce to them that the Philippines is open for business and that it's never been better than this.
So which sectors are you hoping to sell when you visit the US and all the other countries in that international roadshow?
Oh, I'm picking off 8 sectors, starting with the semiconductors and electronics sector, the renewable energy sector, the food sector, pharmaceuticals, steel, tourism, minerals, mineral extraction, and mineral processing.
Well, that's a whole lot of a laundry list there. All the best in your roadshow. Secretary Go, we'll keep track of the progress. Appreciate you making the time.